Building a Rich Legacy Explained, brought to you in part by Dignity Memorial.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Building a Rich Legacy Explained. I'm Liz West. Many of life's true riches, they aren't in your wallet. They come from spending time with family and friends and serving our community. So today we'll explore the multiple meanings of legacy by discussing things you can do to enrich your life in retirement, how to give back to your community and make a difference, and unique and special ways to put your stamp on that final goodbye. Joining us to talk about the shifting thinking around legacy is Mike Drak. Mike is an author, a public speaker, and a retirement lifestyle consultant for HomeEquity Bank. He's published 3 best-selling books, including Longevity Lifestyle by Design, and he dedicates his time to helping others design a fulfilling, meaningful retirement lifestyle for themselves. Thanks so much for being here, Mike.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You know, when I just said that, I thought, this is your legacy in a way, is what you're doing for other people.
No, true. Very true.
It's amazing how we're shifting the way we think about this idea of legacy. So you have a financial background, so it's in your DNA, but really the idea is to think beyond money, you know, on what your legacy can look like. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, you know, I thought everything was dependent upon money and how much money you saved and all these things. This is bankers, this is what we talk to our clients about, but I learned a lot about legacy just over 10 years ago. I was at a funeral of a good friend of mine, childhood friend, and I was sitting there listening to what people were saying. And I said, wow, you know, what do I want people to say when it's my turn? And that got me really into it. And I was thinking about, you know, was I a good husband? Was I a good father? Did I raise my kids with good values? Did I help them get a good start in life? You know, what have I done with helping people? You know, in what ways have I helped them? And how have I given back and contributed to the community? So the focus all of a sudden switched from money, because they never talk about money or inheritance at a funeral.
Yeah, it's true.
They talk about a person's life and the memories and the happy moments. And that's when it started for me. And so I think about legacy every day.
So you're saying we have to shift this idea that we have, that legacy is about what you're leaving to people to help them with their wealth, to the wealth of memories, I guess.
Yes.
You might want to say. Why is this so important in your mind?
Well, it's another lesson that I learned from my mother this time was she spent the last year of her life in a nursing home. And in a nursing home, you know, you have this little small room. There's not a lot of space for possessions or things like that. One of the things is she had a box of pictures. And it was pictures taken throughout her life. And those were her memories. And then I clued into that, well, that's what we're left with at the end of the day is our memories. And she lived off those memories for the last year of her life. And I used to go talk to her when I visited her, and we'd be going through different memories and things like that. And I said, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to keep making great memories with my friends and family and the things that I do, because those are the things that are important at the end of the day.
And why do you think we have this shift in values? You know, what's different about where we are now as a society that we're thinking differently?
Well, hopefully we are thinking differently, but I think it's just that more people are talking about it, and we recognize that, hey, life is tough, and people need our help, especially our kids. I'm really scared about our grandkids right now, because you know, life's going to be a lot tougher for them, and so we're saying, okay, how can we make the world a better place? Because we're boomers now. We have boomer power. We have a lot of experience and knowledge, and yeah, we have the money too. So what can we do to help this world become better? And that's where we're spending our time now, and it's nice to see. And more people are doing it all the time, which is just wonderful.
It's nice to hear the word actually said out loud, because, you know, it sort of relates to the end of your life. We don't like to talk about that all the time, and yet it can be so rewarding. So the idea that we're actually having conversations and having more input into what our legacy is so important. And I wonder, like, how did you start thinking about legacy to begin with?
Well, it's, it was just those things to say, I was so focused on money, and I said, okay, there's got to be more to life to this. And, what value can I give when I retired? And I had a lot of time, and I had freedom to do whatever I wanted. And I said, I've always enjoyed helping people.
And I imagine you also had clients that you were dealing with that had money, and they probably talked about what they wanted to leave. So you would see, what happened.
Well, yeah,
with their families.
And we had these conversations, and and we tried to change the conversation from maximizing wealth or maximizing how much you're going to live behind, as to what good use could you put the money to now?
Right.
Now, while you're still alive, what good could you do? And, I see these people, and they try to almost hoard their money and maximize how much they have when they could be helping their kids out now when they need the help. Because, they're going to maybe buy a house, and they're going to need help, with a down payment, and help maybe, servicing a mortgage. Mm-hmm. Kids' education, it's so expensive now. So why not contribute to that while you can early enough, so those things can build up over time, and hopefully the kids can graduate with all these crazy student loans hanging over their head. So we're looking at that and saying, okay, how can we do that? What makes sense? And more people are going that way.
So the term is a living legacy.
Living legacy,
yes. Which is a great way to reframe the idea of legacy. It's pretty clear. What can you do while you're here?
That's right. And it's, we call it giving with a warm hand versus a cold one.
That's very direct.
Yeah, but it's
Wow.
the truth.
Yeah.
But the beauty in it is you can see the good your money is doing.
I love that.
And that's important. And, I don't like writing checks to a charity. I like to get involved. I call it sweat equity. I like to get involved with the charity. One of my friends, he does work for Habitat for Humanity. So he has these skills, and he goes there and he's banging nails, and he's helping put up a house. And at the end of the day, you can see the house, and you see the family that's going to live in the house. And it's so wonderful. You don't get that from giving just a straight check. And, those are things I look for.
And that's what you talk about, this whole idea of being connected to your community. I mean, that's how you're able to do things like your friend is doing. And that really is in line with many Canadians' thinking. In a recent survey by the Canadian Association of Retired Persons, almost 100% of respondents said that they plan to age in their current homes for as long as possible. And of course, that does take money. So what are some of the financial tools that allow you to do that?
I have to tell another story from my mother.
Please do.
And when my father passed away from pancreatic cancer, someone put the bug in her ear. You should sell your house right away and move into an apartment or a high-rise condo. And I remember she called me and she told me that's what she was thinking of doing. And I said, look, don't do anything until we talk. And later that day, I went over to see her, and she kept saying, what do you think about my plan? And I said, well, I don't really like it. And I said, why do you want to do it? And she goes, well, I'm nervous that, I'm going to have to hire someone to shovel the snow and cut the lawn, and, I'm not sure I have enough money. And it's a lack of understanding, because my father took care of all the money aspects. And I said, you don't have a problem, because you own a home. It's free and clear. There's no debt on it. And we can find ways of tapping into that equity and pay all these expenses. And then I said, it just makes perfect sense for you to do that. And she goes, no, I can't do that. I said, why? And she goes, I can't spend you and your brother's inheritance.
Oh, boy.
Really? And when she hit that, it was like someone stabbed me.
Wow.
And that's what I call a legacy trap. And so many people think that way, that, no, we can't touch this. And I said to my mother, I'll never forget it. I said, look, it's like the circle of life in The Lion King, right? Yeah. You took care of me You helped raise me. You protected me. And now it's our turn to do it. And money has nothing to do with it. Our job is to make sure that you're safe and you're happy. And I know you're not going to be happy moving in a high-rise condo where you don't know anyone. I know you love living here. You love being surrounded by your neighbors that you've known for years and years. Why would you ever move away from that? And I said, again, it's nothing to do with money. You're looking at it the wrong way. And then she thought about it, and she said, it was having that conversation, because people rarely have them. And then she clicked into it, and she goes, well, then I don't want to move anymore. And I said, great. And she spent the next 20 years of her life in that home, and she loved it. But she could have made a big mistake. And you have to watch out for things.
Bit of a knee-jerk reaction almost. People just assume you have to leave.
You can't spend it, but they don't understand there's ways of making it work too. But it's that mental thing to say, oh, I'm not allowed to do that. It's like kids today, they think everyone has to buy a house or you're a loser. No, you're not. And you don't have to buy a home. You just have to come up with a plan that works for you, right? So I hate these traps, and we got to do a better job with
It's a mentality, and bringing it up and talking about it, and this talking to you about it on Explained is what helps educate people, show them other options, because there are other options. But when you're only talking to your very small group, you might not hear about them.
That's right. Good point.
So this is great. So can you elaborate on some of those financial tools that are available for folks that are thinking, oh, I didn't know that?
Okay, so one thing you have to be aware of a home, and I've just went through it, is you have to age-proof it, which costs money. And then the question is, how are you going to pay for that? And either one of the ways you can do is you can take a home equity line of credit, or you could take a reverse mortgage, and they both accomplish the same thing. I'm a fan of reverse mortgages because you don't have to make any payments. So you take out the reverse mortgage, you take out enough in any option of ways that you want, and you don't have to worry about things. And you can stay in that house as long as you want. And it just takes so much pressure off and stress off. You don't have to think about anything. Because you don't want people, writing out checks every month and trying to figure out what their loan limits are and stuff like that. I didn't want my mother going through that. So I always look for the simplest, best way of doing it and making it easy for people. And that's why I'm a fan of that product.
Makes sense. You had talked also about sweat equity. I think that's the word you used. When you like to get your hands dirty and get involved with a charity.
Yes.
Apart from it sounding good, what are the benefits? And you live it. What are the benefits to you as a person for getting actually involved versus writing that check?
There's been a lot of research done on this, and they know the happiest retirees are people that volunteer, that actually go out and do these things. These are the people you see volunteering at food banks or at hospitals. One thing I like to do is the Ride for Cancer. Like, I go out there and I get involved there, and I write my check because I get a little tired of asking people for contributions, right? But I love it because, we're surrounded by people that all have their own cancer stories and things like that. And we're meeting these people and we're talking about how we can continue to contribute and help a great cause. And so those are things I look for, and there's all kinds of them around. But yeah, when you're involved, when you're giving back, you're not just helping others, you're helping yourself. It's the good feelings attached to it, and giving is a longevity driver. We know about it. So happy people live longer than unhappy people. So keep doing as many happy things as you can.
And it puts the twinkle in your eye, I'll tell you. You've got a great twinkle in your eye.
Thank you.
You do. See, it's even more now. Okay, let's talk about the term living legacy and how it relates to this idea of the bank of mom and dad, which unfortunately is a real thing.
Well, yes, and like I said, the kids today have it a lot tougher, and it's going to even get tougher. They need help. I'm very concerned about stress levels for kids. There's so much coming at them. And there's so much unpredictability, even with employment. There's no guarantee you're going to get a job, never mind, keep it for a long time. So really, part of my legacy is watching them and helping out as much as I can. So I don't want them stretched too thin. I don't want them, losing sleep about making a mortgage payment or things like that. That's one of the reasons I continue to work part-time, is to make sure I can contribute and help. I will not give them money so they can just blow it on something silly, but I'll give it to them to assist with their lifestyle and reduce pressure. And I also do things like, I know they need a break. So I say, okay, we're family vacation. Let's all go somewhere. And I'll take care of it. But they need these breaks, right? And when I can do that and be with my family, I really feel good too. So it's a great investment. I believe in making family investments that make sense and reduce pressure, and setting up my kids and grandkids for the long haul, right?
Right, and forgetting about this idea of like holding on to my money until it can be divided up.
That drives me crazy. And you don't know how many people I've seen, they like to manage control of this money and not give it away.
And not spend it on themselves.
That's right, but it's just sitting there, but they like to have control, right?
Yeah.
But I can understand it too, because I remember someone talking to me and they're saying they're getting a little tired at the holidays. The family gets together and the grandkids line up and he's passing out these envelopes.
Really?
And as soon as they get the envelope, oh, thanks, Papa, and they're gone. That's it. It's just, it's hurtful, really. Yeah. It shouldn't be that way. We need to do a better job.
I like that. That's a great way to end this, except I know that you have a giveaway for us, for our audience.
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to tell everybody what it is?
Oh, yes. So we're giving away a copy of Longevity Lifestyle by Design. HomeEquity Bank is very kind, so they're going to manage the process. All you have to do is give them a phone call and ask for a copy, and they'll send it out to you. And it's a very, very good book, believe me. Yeah.
And you're not just saying that because you're the author.
No, it's. I had a look at it on the way here and went, geez, this is good.
That's something. Well, we only skim the surface here, so that book will give more details. Thank you so much for being here, Mike.
And thank you. It was a pleasure.
And that number to call for your free copy of Longevity Lifestyle by Design, again, is 1-833-852-2447. And a big thank you to all of our guests who joined us as we learn more about how to live a rich legacy. And thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Liz West. Until next time.